Good morning. Hey, it's Maria from the Fox 11 newsroom here in Los Angeles, and joining me, Jaime Presley.
Hello.
The gorgeous Jaime. You may remember her from My Name is Earl, now promoting a one show, one night only.
This particular event is one night only.
The Rouge Follies.
Rouge Follies is a show that's been going on for about 3 years, but I jumped on board to help out a little and try to get him a little more exposure. So I jumped on as exec producer, and then thought it would be a really great idea around the holidays.
Well, it's all for a good cause.
Yeah,
as well.
To jump on board and team them up with St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.
Absolutely. So if you guys know anybody who is going to be here, I think it's this weekend.
It is this weekend, Sunday, December 9th.
We're going to spread the word. Let me just quickly introduce you to everybody in the Hangout here, because there's a few of them. This is Trev. He's hanging out with us from the UK.
Hello.
Kempton is in Canada, Calgary.
Hi, Jamie.
Justin is also in England. And Anthony is in Sacramento.
Hi there.
For those of you watching on air, thanks so much. Make sure you plus and comment, okay? And please share the link. Okay. So let's talk more with Jaime. If you guys have a question, just get my attention and I'll go to you, of course. And if you have a question on air, just tag me or anyone in the Hangout. Don't you just love all this social media stuff?
It's crazy. We were just talking about, like, my son is 5 now, and he's building his own levels in like Minecraft and Little Big Planet. We didn't even have computers or cell phones, much less Google.
Now we have the Google, and look at this Hangout. You tweet though, right?
I do tweet.
I saw your tweet earlier, so thank you so much. Okay, so let's talk about the special, or the Rouge Follies. This is going to benefit the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. For those of you who don't know, I mean, this hospital has cared for so many sick children and
hundreds of thousands. They literally have found more cures for cancer and other types of leukemia than any other hospital. It is a cancer research hospital. This year alone, they've had to raise $800 million to run it.
Wow.
No child pays, no child is turned away, and all services, treatments, everything, surgeries, they're all free and paid for by donation.
Now, so your involvement in it, you're executive producing this. Are you in it? Because I'm not sure. I didn't see the exact sheet yet, but are you in it as well?
I'm actually going to be in this event as well, yes.
And it's kind of like a vaudeville
It's like a vaudeville show. Lisa Eden is the creator of the regular Rouge Follies show, and this particular night we have changed it up a bit so that it's a holiday version. Holiday music. We have a couple of celebrity guests as well. And it's really great because it's fun, funny vaudeville, like the way originally the vaudeville shows were meant to be, where they're funny and sticky, and it's really, really entertaining. Lots of confetti, lots of surprises, dancers coming from the ceiling and from behind you through the audience.
I must think that might be, I mean, for me, it's like you do all of this rehearsal and you do it one night and then it's done. Like, is that?
It's really. It's not that it's anticlimactic, because it's the anticipation of it all wears you out. But just exec producing and putting together a charity show where you actually need donations, and in this economy, that's very difficult to do.
Yes.
And because it's very difficult to do, we kind of got into a little bind there for a little bit, and thankfully, a man named Victorino Noval jumped on board to exec produce with us and brought in quite a bit of money to help us cover the costs, so that we could make sure that the majority, that as much money as possible could go to the charity. Yeah, there will be also a silent auction that night where 100% of the proceeds will go. But everything's on livingsocial.com, and on livingsocial.com, there's also a ticker where if you can't actually go to the event, you can donate $20 to help us raise money.
To know. So if you can't make it, because obviously I don't know if you guys can fly out here this weekend, but you can go to livingsocial.com, and there are other ways, obviously, to contribute. Trav, did you have a question?
A comment. I don't have a TV, and I never watch anything on TV. But My Name is Earl is one of the things I did watch, and I bought it and everything, and I loved it. And your character in that and the way you played it. Now, it's kind of strange for me to see you not acting like
I'm
that.
not gonna be like her.
It's called acting. It's acting.
Oh, I know, but I've never. That's all I've ever seen. Well, no. I saw you do the clean your dirty balls thing as well. That Axe commercial.
That was so much fun. It was really hard to do because we couldn't keep a straight face, and we were supposed to be serious.
That could be a
And it was
problem.
really difficult. Although, you know, the writing on My Name is Earl was phenomenal, and that was just as difficult to get through scenes on a day-to-day basis as well. But I was more used to that character after 4 years than the one day I shot the Axe commercial, because that really was a tough one to get through. It was so much fun. You know, I appreciate, you know, the compliment about Earl, but I have to say, around here, it's funny because people think, they just assume, well, if you're really good at a character, then you must be similar to that character in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, okay, number one, I'm not, you know, I'm not from a trailer park. If I was, fine, but no big deal. But I mean, I'm not. And, you know, I am really not anything like that character at all, except for the fact that I am Southern. And
You do have that twang.
Southern,
That's
yeah.
so
Well,
cute.
I'm Southern, but I don't talk like her.
No,
I mean, she was.
But that, I know that in the US, that kind of accent is not very desirable. But your character made me attracted to the accent. I actually like that accent.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. The trick was Greg Garcia, the creator and writer, did not want you to be able to pick out exactly where she was from. So I combined numerous Southern dialects like Virginia and Texas, North Carolina, which is where I'm from, as well as Georgia. When she wanted something, she'd get real Georgian and they sing-songy. And then when she'd get pissed off, she was Arkansas and she'd talk out the side of her mouth and she'd get real quick. You know, so you know, I had to like kind of flip it around, and anyway, it was a lot of fun to play, and definitely, you know, when you do television, the character that you play on a daily basis can be, you know, become extremely monotonous. That character was the furthest thing from monotonous. I mean, every day was fun.
You make it fun to watch. Really, I'm having fun watching you do all your little accents right now.
Oh,
It's
thank
the
you.
best. Kempton, yes, go ahead. What's your question?
Jamie, when you guys are shooting the scenes and whatnot, do you pretty much go with exactly on the script? Because the show is great, but do you go with the script or do you ad-lib a bit too?
In television, at least here in America in television, you don't really get to improv so much because there's a big process that goes on prior to filming the episode, where the studio and the network have to agree, and you have to make sure you're within guidelines and such, although we pushed the envelope as far as possible on that show. And truthfully, we never needed to improv. We'd improv the physical comedy, but the writing was so phenomenal, you never needed to or wanted to change anything.
Yeah, the writers do pretty
In
good
film, you get to improv the majority of the time, but in television, because things are set and agreed upon, you kind of have to stick to it.
Maybe more so in UK, but yeah, thanks.
Justin, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, you were talking about having a blast on set and things, and then the writing in with TV, but you provided one of the voices on Horton Hears a Who. What was that like, talking about fun and sticking to scripts and things, because obviously they have to animate around your voice as well?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. There was actually a lot more shot. The film actually ended up being like 4 hours long, so a lot of us had a lot of our stuff cut out because it was really funny, and it was hard for them to pick and choose, you know, what they were going to keep. And so realistically, I had like 6 scenes. I think I only ended up in 2 or 3. But I had so much fun, and it's really fun to do animation because, like you said, they base it around you. And I was in, you know, my pajamas half the time.
No hair and makeup.
No hair and makeup. It was so much fun. You do any voice you want. Of course, they called me in for the Southern dialect, so I did my grandmother Presley.
So you have a lot of people you can call on in your family and in growing up, right? For
Yeah, well,
voices.
I can't really say that, you know, when you're talking about the Southern dialect, we're all from North Carolina, so the Virginia and Georgia and Arkansas and Texas was just
different. Yeah.
They're all different. That just came from, you know, having friends from there, and just as an actor, you try to hone in on your craft by focusing in on other people, because part of being, and learning and how, their tones and such. Because really I could talk like him as well if I like.
It's awesome. I'm always so fascinated by people who can just do different voices.
Well,
I bet you can sing.
I do sing. I'll be singing in the event this Sunday night as well, singing and dancing.
I knew it.
But I wanted to say about the British accent. It's very similar. The Southern and British dialects go hand in hand. We have a draw.
That's why the English can really do Southern so quickly.
Well, and Southern do English very quickly, very easily, because the English invaded everywhere here back in the day.
My apologies.
Not your fault. I don't blame you. But I have to say, the town that I'm from in North Carolina is called Kinston, and it was originally called Kingston when they came and took over for a while. And then once we kicked you out, we dropped the G, and now it's Kinston. But it was Kingston.
I used to work in Kingston.
For us to all go back and forth.
Now,
That's good.
Trav's accent is a bit different. I think yours is like Justin's is quite a bit more proper, but Trav's
mine's a little more proper. But if he's going to do like this, maybe he's going to be a little bit more.
I'm more no. It's the thing is, Americans can tend to do a Southern English accent. Like yours is very good, but mine, I don't think even people near where I'm from can do
No,
mine.
you're right. You have there's like a Scottish sound to it.
Well, I'm about 150 miles from Scotland. It does kind of blend as we go further up.
Yeah.
You have to practice yourself to get your accent right, Trev. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually being more. I'm making sure that my diction is better than it usually is, because I'm speaking to an American audience, I suppose. But normally you wouldn't be able to understand me, I don't think.
Normally, yeah, because and that's the Scottish. Which, by the way, I have the most difficult time doing a Scottish accent. You'd think I'd be able to do it, but there's certain things that are just tiny little things that are huge things when you're trying to do the dialect.
Yeah.
Like R's and rolls that are very difficult for me. I don't know why. I should be able to do it. I need to practice.
I think if you just copy Robin Williams, when he does that Scottish. I don't know if you've seen Robin Williams do it. He just.
Well, actually, the Presleys came over from Scotland, so I should probably try to learn.
What can we see you in the future?
This past summer, I exec produced and leaded in a film called Abby in the Summer.
Okay.
The release date, we're still in, we literally just finished, so we're in the middle of editing at the moment. And probably going to go and do the film festival circuit, since I've never really done the film festival thing. It was either a studio film or
So do you enjoy being on that
television
side of the camera?
I do. The older I get, the more I like. I've been in the business for 20 years now, so I'm really enjoying being behind the camera, and putting things together. I like working as a team. I love being able to produce.
I have one last question before I let you go. You look amazing. I mean,
Thank you.
What is your health regimen? Like, how do you stay in shape?
I work out a lot. I really do. But people are like, people think that I do it, because it's part of my business. And to me, acting has nothing to do with being skinny or,
being healthy.
that has nothing to do with it. I do it. I say I work out for sanity, not vanity. I will punch a wall if I don't work out.
My husband's the same way.
I have a 5-year-old little boy who bounces off walls and is very trying on your patience, as every child is. And, as a single mom, there's a lot to do. And, then also, and like, for instance, putting this event together for the last 2 months, day in and day out, like, I didn't get to shower until 12 o'clock last night because I was trying to, cover all our bases and make sure everything was handled on my end as an exec producer, and at the same time trying to remember my words for the songs I have to sing this weekend, because the truth is I haven't sung on stage since before Desi was born, so I've had a little bit of stage fright, and I've been trying to get over it, because when I'm afraid of anything, I just face it dead on. But fear tends to make the vocal cords close up.
Do you want to practice for it?
No, I do not. But so I've been trying to remember. It's easy for me to remember dialogue.
Yes.
And even though I grew up in a dance studio because my mother's a dance teacher, remembering choreography and songs now, even though I grew up dancing and singing, is like foreign to me all of a sudden. But I could memorize a 4-page monologue in 30 minutes. It's just, you know, it's a muscle. Your brain's a muscle, so you have to work it in all the different ways, you know?
Well, you're
Get used to it
You're
again.
amazing. Really, I'm just like in awe here listening to you.
This is perfect hangout. I mean, normally when people join the hangout, they treat it as like it's an interview, but you haven't. You've done it perfectly.
No.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Oh, I prefer to have everybody on, like, you know, my dad always says, like before when I used to go into auditions, you know, years ago when I was nervous. Now it's like whatever, because I already know all the casting directors and all the people, right? So it's like whatever, how you been?
You still have to audition?
I don't mind doing that at all. If there's a bunch of people like like names up for the role, I have no problem going in to prove myself. I feel like, I think, you know, the older you get, the more you have to prove yourself, and I prefer to do it because then there's no question in their minds of whether I can play the role or not.
Wow.
So no, I don't have to go out for everything, but there are times where I go, get me in that room and let me prove myself.
Wow.
I'm fine with that.
So what did your dad say?
Oh, so my dad used to say, I'd be like, I'm so nervous to go in that room, and my nickname's been Chicken since I was a little girl. And so he said, Chicken, when you walk in that room, you tell something funny, because when everybody's laughing, you're all walking on the same ground. And the minute that I would walk in, whether it was a drama or not, that I was going out for, I would make sure that I'd do everything I could to, you know, not go over the top with not telling a like but-um-bum joke, but walk in and just make everybody feel comfortable. And that way we all laugh and feel like we're on this, walking on the same ground, so nobody's above anybody. At that point, it was making sure nobody, you know, I didn't feel like they were above me. And now it's, I don't want anybody to feel like I think I'm above them. So I just like everybody to be on the same ground and be comfortable. And it's more conversational.
Oh, we love you. I love you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much. Thank you, guys.
Your son has an awesome mom.
I appreciate that.
Livingsocial.com on the event that's happening.
Livingsocial.com or thefondatheater.com. And it's December 9th, this Sunday at the Fonda Theater.
And of course your website, Jaime Presley.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly right. Jaime Presley, or at the Jaime Presley.
At Twitter. Well, you guys
Finally, I just want to say thanks for letting Joy come out to play as well. And
absolutely. Thank you for letting her come out to play.
Before you go, here's our camera, Jaime. You ready? Okay. Thank you.